Hola, hola, mi gente. Happy, happy new moon in Leo, a time of new beginnings, completely new cycles, new realities, new personality, if you will, all the above. I'm Panchita Artista, and welcome again to Art Animism and the Astros, where we do collective reads in astrology and also tarot. I'm coming from a different perspective today, trying something a little bit different. I actually filmed the reading, so full transparency. I filmed this reading. Already have pulled the tarot cards earlier this morning outside, actually, to do something new. And then when I came home, in true Mercury retrograde fashion, the sound was just so bad. And I'm very sound sensitive. I know others out there are very sound sensitive. So I was like, you know what? Let me just kind of do this reading over again. And I actually think it'll be good. Even though I love to pull the cards in real time, when I've sat with them a little bit longer, new things come through. I can be a little bit more articulate, more clear, maybe hitting points that I wouldn't otherwise hit when I'm doing everything, really fast in real time. So I think this will be good. The poll today is pretty good, but let's talk about the astrology first. So today, really big moment in 2025. We have so many big moments, but this is another one. It's the new moon in Leo. All of the activity, really, or I should say, so much activity is taking place right now in Leo. Leo is pulling attention as he loves to do. The Leos in your lives, I'm sure you know, are confident, they're brazen, they're bold, they're courageous, popular, beautiful, great hair, great leaders all around. With the new moon there, it's a time of new beginnings and really having a deeper understanding of how we want to progress forward with being the leaders and the teachers in our lives. All of us hold those roles in some way or other. It doesn't matter if we're not a professional teacher or not, or, we're not the manager at work. All of us are teachers and leaders in different ways in our lives. So it's highlighting those points. The sun is also newly in Leo. So that is really asking us again to look at those positions and how we shine in those different areas. As if that wasn't enough to have both the moon and the sun in Leo, we also have Mercury stationing retrograde. So Mercury has us speaking and thinking the different things that Mercury rules as far as communication, again, about how we're holding those roles. What's interesting at this time as well is it's not only just about us as the individual. This is about us as the collective, and also looking at the people that we have put in roles of leadership. And what's fascinating is as this transit is taking place, this new moon, the sun freshly in Leo, Mercury in Leo, we can almost kind of think of these three planetary bodies in a car just starting their road trip all together because they're super close together in this constellation. We can think of them on a road trip, basically moving through the land of Leo and all the way across the galaxy, completely opposite in what we call in astrology a true opposition. Pluto is also on his own road trip through the constellation of Aquarius. Pluto is named after the Roman god of the underworld, dealing with themes of power, dealing with the unseen under the surface themes that can be really uncomfortable and bringing them to light, especially in a constellation like Aquarius that is very revolutionary, very the anarchist, the disruptor, and the forward thinker. And the Aquarius is also heavily related to technology. So we think about how through technology, we are seeing different people in power, different leaders in power, have their cracks exposed. We're seeing how their decisions, how the decisions of just a few people are affecting us in mass. And I'm really feeling the weight of that today and starting to really think about what can I do better in my small community, in my small circle that can have an impact, because there's so much, so many awful, incomprehensible things taking place in the world. For all of us that woke up in a warm bed this morning and were able to have, right now I'm filming this in the afternoon, we're able to have breakfast and lunch today. The ability to be able to do that right now while other people are quite literally in a genocide, they're starving, they're being fucking shot at for trying to get humanitarian help. The fact that we're able to sit over here in comfort, even though I know that all of our lives, especially us Westerners, we're going through a lot of stuff right now as well in our country. But oh man, are we lucky. What can we do as leaders? How can we be leaders in our own lives, not just for us, not just for manifesting the next like dream that we have for our personal goals, our personal career, but how can we have an effect on the large scale with helping others around the world? I mean, this is just, I personally feel like that is what I want to focus on tremendously with this lunation. It's not just about the dreams for my personal future. Yes, of course, that's it. I hope that we all have the drive and the dreams for what we want, in our lives, but also it's got to be in service of others. Leos are the kings. They're represented by the lions, the king of the jungle, the top of the food chain. And things have to work in everyone has to play their part in order for a kingdom to be at peace and at ease. And a true leader knows that. A true leader is providing an equitable environment, a warm environment, a comfortable environment for others. A true leader knows that they are not just leading, but they also can learn from others. So they're the teacher and the student at the same time. So, how are you holding this role in your life? How are you holding a leadership role without being superior to another? The poll that I did today is really beautiful, really speaks to this. The first card that came out, well, I should actually say, first card that was exposed at the bottom of the deck is the Magician, one of my absolute favorite cards. This is all about creating your own reality, the power that you have. We are each the magician in our own lives. This is the first card of the deck of the major arcana after the Fool, and it also is connected to Mercury. Mercury in a lot of mythology is often paired with a trickster character, almost kind of the jester who comes out and sets the scene. Mercury also happens to be the first planet from the sun, and sun in mythologies across the world, the sun is often paired with a king-like personality, a god-like, higher personality. But Mercury is very revered by that figure. No matter what the mythos is, whether it's Hermes in Greek mythology, if it's Eshu Alegua in Yoruba mythology, very highly held personalities and characters of these mythos. They really, cause mischief, which is what a lot of us probably have experienced during Mercury in retrograde already. Maybe we've experienced certain inconveniences, but these inconveniences are to create different scenarios that make us realize how maybe we've lost balance, maybe we're out of touch, and we need to get things back in order to find that balance and harmony so that our lives can be a lot more in line, that we can bring our different dreams to fruition. And again, really about crafting the reality we want to see, not only for ourselves, but also for others. The second card highly supports that, as it's actually the King of Pentacles that showed up. I love this artwork here because the King of Pentacles, connected to Earth element, is about being essentially a wealth magnet. And wealth has many different meanings here. It's not just monetarily, it's, also abundance. It's a wealth of values, a wealth of friends, of health, of family, of love, of abundance on all different fronts. But the artwork is so beautiful because the king here is not just attracting the wealth, but he's also sharing it as well. It's radiating out from him. And so this is really supportive of that idea that a true king, a true leader, a true person in power understands that it's not all for them. That it's important to share the abundance. That's what creates more of it. Abundance is contagious. The more you share it, the more it comes back to you, the more it's created and spreads out in the world. So, really, really beautiful card. The following one that we got is the Page of Pentacles. So, right out the gate, double Pentacles energy. We got it in the reverse. We can take a look at what it looks like because the message is clear, whether it's inverted or upside down, inverted, whatever, upside down or straight up. I can't speak. The message is clear here. The Page of Pentacles is the messenger. So again, we're pulling in a bit of that Mercury energy. And you can see that he is looking at the stairs that he wants to ascend to get to kind of that North Star. There's that dream that he's trying to ascend to. In the reverse, we can understand that there's a bit of a pause before ascending. There's work that has to take place here. There's strategy that has to take place here. It's kind of fascinating that not only is Mercury in retrograde, Pluto is in retrograde over in Aquarius, and so is Saturn and Neptune in Aries, another fire sign, along with Leo, the fire sign. So we have all these really big players, all these kings essentially in a bit of a calm. They can't move forward the way that they typically do. So it's a really good time to be strategizing, to use Saturn's energy, which is all about structure, stability, long-term plans, using that energy. And Neptune, who is the planet of dreams, really dreaming about, hey, what do we want? How do I want to be the leader in my life? How can I put this into action? And so it's not the time that we're doing it, but it is the time that we're strategizing. We're putting things together. I have a feeling right now that many of us are quite literally making some huge career shifts, maybe into places that we never would have imagined, even just like last year. I know I'm certainly starting to understand what I want to do moving forward in a very different way than I ever have. And I think for many of us, whether we realize it subconsciously or consciously, that this is influenced by what is going on in the world. And that's what makes sense when we think about COVID. I mean, everybody's lives changed, whether we wanted it to or not. They completely changed. And people's professions, people's vocations changed along with it. And I hope that you can look at that now and say, oh, that was for the best. And, me, for instance, before the pandemic, I was a performer. I wanted to be in movies and on Broadway and on television. And then I completely shifted into the visual landscape. So there is another shift that's taking place right now. The atrocities that are taking place in the world, it doesn't keep humanity the same. It has us thinking differently, doing things differently. So we're in a cooking period right now where we're strategizing, putting things together. The third and final card that I pulled is also the Knight of Swords, also in the inverted. The knight is always, kind of charging. They're on the front lines. But being that it's inverted, again, it is a time to strategize, a time to think. The swords rules the mind. So it is a time to really be thinking, that quality of Mercury that is thinking about, how do I progress forward here? How do I move here? How do I create an equitable future for myself, for others, where there's a lot of care? Going back to the magician, we have the power to shape our reality here. So let's make it a beautiful one for ourselves, for others, for not just our immediate community, but also the people around the world. Focus on what you can do in your immediate community. I know it might seem small, whether it's just one thing, whether it just affects even one person. That is contagious. It does spread out. It does have this energy where then the more that comes to you, the more goes out. This card does also indicate, I think, that for some of us, opportunities are on the rise, that there will be an influx of physical income, help, which is wonderful. As it does, be sure to share what you can, give what you can. That has many different meanings, whether it's monetarily or not. Be sure that as the abundance is coming in, it's also going out. The King of Pentacles has transcended the other cards of the Pentacle suit. This suit especially begins with cards that are really about holding on to wealth and physical things, and the king is surpassed that. He's elevated past that. He's evolved past that, and he understands the importance of giving. So that is a big message here. We're in a calm before really progressing forward. Opportunities are on their way. And let's really think about how we can be wonderful leaders, wonderful teachers that are creating an equitable, warm, loving, safe, equal, healthy environment for everyone. Happy, happy new moon in Leo. So much love to you all. If you liked this reading, if you think it can help others, please be sure to share. Feel free to leave a comment if you like, sharing a little bit about maybe what's going on for you at this time. And please stay tuned for more. Subscribe as well. This is an offering from me to you. Lots of love, and I'll see you soon. Adios.